Now, if you've got a dude at home who is stuck in a food rut, we have a solution for you. Our next guest has made a career out of transforming dude food into bright, vibrant recipes for the whole family. Please welcome back to our home our good friend, Serena Wolf.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here, as always.
Goodness, Serena, this is going to be delicious. Now, joining Cam and Ken at the counter is our very good friend, Senior Vice President of Physicians Mutual. He is
otherwise known as a dude.
Welcome, and we're going to be speaking with you in just a little bit about some very important insurance information. But first, we wanted to fill your belly.
Yes.
We want to get you fed. So we are going to start by making these really delicious. It's sort of like a mashup.
It's a mashup of two classic comfort foods. We have Bolognese-Stuffed Peppers. They're going to be literally, these peppers are going to be stuffed with a lean bolognese filling. We've got a layer of melty, bubbling cheese on top, loaded with nutrients, and it's really easy and versatile.
Oh my goodness, and we have some dudes waiting.
Are you making a lot of them is what
We are making a lot of them. All right, it starts with some ground beef.
Yes, and what I like to do is just throw it into a colander like you would pasta. You drain some of the excess grease. We're cutting a lot of fat, but we're not losing any flavor, I promise. And then over here,
we build the sauce.
We build the sauce. So we've got carrots, celery, onion, garlic, but there is a secret ingredient in here. We've got cauliflower rice. So I promise you, I have yet to have one person identify that there's cauliflower in here.
I love it.
But you are adding a full serving of vegetables.
Wonderful.
And it really just melts into the sauce.
Okay.
So you cook these down for about 8 minutes until they're nice and soft.
All right.
And then we're gonna get some tomato paste involved.
Okay, toast that up a little bit.
Toast that up a little
And by
bit.
cutting out the rice, I mean, for those interested, like this guy sitting right here,
Yes.
you're really cutting back on the carbs of this dish.
You absolutely are, and you're getting those nutrients. And I find it's a little bit lighter, so you are getting a really filling,
Nice.
indulgent tasting dish, but with a lot more
Oh my
nutrients.
gosh, that smells so
It
good.
smells really good.
That smells amazing.
And then we're gonna get some oregano, a little bit of salt,
My mouth is watering.
pepper, and then crushed red pepper. I'm a big spice fan. Any spice babies,
Great.
just leave that out.
Okay.
Stir that in, and then we're gonna get our ground beef back in here.
All right, and is this just crushed tomatoes?
That's just a whole big can of crushed tomatoes. If you want to throw that in there too.
Okay, there you go.
This
Oh my gosh, that smells so
It's
good.
all good.
Very good.
So this is the sauce, and we are gonna let this simmer. Ideally for like a good 10 minutes, but we're gonna speed that up. Thank
All right,
you.
I'll turn that
Thank
down.
you, Debbie.
We'll let that simmer
Just
a
so we
little
don't
bit.
have tomato sauce, but I wanted this cloud of delicious smelling steam.
You're giving them facials.
So that is gonna simmer.
And while that simmers, you were going to show us all
am.
how to cut one of these peppers in half and de-seed it so we can stuff
Yes. And so some stuffed peppers, you cut the top off and you fill them, but I like to cut them in half. It's a little like less pepper. It's not as overwhelming. So you can just go straight through. And then what you're gonna do is cut the seeds and the membrane, and I just like to use my hands for this.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
easier.
I rip them
It's
apart with my
easier.
hands, too.
You can always rip
Yeah.
them apart. If you want to get your knife involved, you absolutely can.
Right.
But it's easy just to
Rinse them if you have
rinse
to.
them if you have to.
Yeah, it's
Get
better
in
that
there,
way.
separate it, and then what we're gonna do is stuff these
babies.
bad boys.
All right, so while you do that, I'm going to move this over here.
Yes,
We've had this simmering for
please.
how long, you said?
This is simmering for about 10 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
While you're filling them up with all that yummy goodness,
Look,
and then I know you got to bake them as well, but I want to
Yeah.
ask you, obviously you're the author of 2 great cookbooks, The Dude Diet and The Dude Diet Dinner Time. Great names. But you're also
Thank you.
creating a really wonderful resource for all things healthy lifestyle. Tell us about the website.
Yes, so my website, domesticate-me.com, has all kinds of recipes, but there's also fitness, healthy lifestyle tips, skincare, all the important things
All the
in life.
important things in
you
life.
know?
That's right.
But I like to make healthy living as accessible and also as fun as
Good.
possible.
Is it mostly for dudes or is it for everybody?
It's for everyone.
I'm just
Right.
curious.
Mostly equal opportunist here.
That's
Yeah.
right.
all right.
I do want, Debbie, can you put a little bit of salt and pepper in each
On
of
the pep-
these? Yeah.
Sure, of
So we want
course.
to season every layer so
Gotcha.
that we get a
That's right.
big pop of flavor.
There you go. So then you're going to fill
There
it
we
with
go.
that yummy bolognese
Yes,
that
with
I am.
this bolognese. And then if you could mix those cheeses.
So we have
if you wanna-
mozzarella?
and Parmesan. So the
Parmesan.
mozzarella is what gives you that sort of melty goodness. And then the Parmesan really hits you with a savory kick. So if you want to spoon some on there, make sure these are good.
I know that your dude at home is not missing any flavor. Because I know the reason he was really the inspiration behind her cookbooks.
He was, and he is a very harsh critic. And coming from someone who used to eat mostly Domino's and cheesesteaks, you know.
He's a harsh critic that comes from eating Domino's. Okay.
Yes. So these are going to go, we got, wait, we got one last step.
Tell us about
so
this.
we're going to pour some broth into the base of the pan.
Oh, into the base.
Yes, into the base. So what happens? No, we wait till the end.
Later.
That's our pretty topping.
Beautiful.
So when you cover this, what happens is that the liquid is going to start to simmer in there, and it's going to steam the peppers, soften them, melt the cheese, help everything cook together. So we pop these in for 35 minutes at 375, and then we have these beauties.
Oh my!
Well done. The dudes are happy.
I like to take the foil off at the end so you get that beautiful browning. And yes, we are going to make it pretty for these.
All right, Serena,
Appreciate that, Deb.
Yes.
Be a peach
Serve that up. You guys go first.
Oh,
Go ahead,
you
Ken.
go
Get
first.
it.
Bob,
Serena, we, the dudes, appreciate you very much so. Visit Serena online at domesticate-me.com. And, of course, you can grab this terrific recipe at hallmarkchannel.com.